You can see here that this is the opening of the top of the Daggerboard, which is going to show the hydraulic lines feeding the ram, which is attached at the top to that stainless plate. And this was a look down at the hydraulic fluid sitting on top of the Daggerboard. Jorge is unscrewing the fiberglass cap, and this is me winching it up. We had some hesitation about the separation here, and we're figuring out what to do with it. Move the hydraulic lines out of the way. It's very critical that we get this part right because there is the sensor line that tells us how deep the Daggerboard is down, and we do not want to break that. Jorge's asking me lots of questions about it, and I'm answering him back and forth. We took the lines and reran them because they pulled it up in a cockeyed fashion. There it comes up, nice and straight, like we like to see it. I ended up having to move the boom all the way out to the shrouds hanging over the Beneteau. This allowed us to bring the Daggerboard past the mainsail and the boom. Still, it's all kind of conjecture. We don't know what's going to happen. I was afraid for the instruments on the mast, but it turned out not to be a problem. So the next thing was the mainsail and the mainsail cover. We put a towel in between the Daggerboard and the mainsail cover to protect it from any grease, because there was a lot of grease everywhere. And this is a much sped up video, but it was a lot hairier than that. We got it clear, and I noticed that there were some deep gouges in the starboard side of the Daggerboard. Something must be catching on it down below. I have to look at it and see. Jorge now trying to work the Daggerboard off to the side. It is pretty light considering what it does, but it's still 350 pounds. And he goes off camera here. I ended up cutting a long section because it wasn't covered by the camera. You can see Richard, the dockmaster, there helping us out with it. And he'll come into a little better focus here in a moment. We put a secondary line running it down to the daggerboard and wrapping it around so that we wouldn't bend the hydraulic ram as we lowered it. It was good for pulling in one direction straight out, but if we turned it at all, I was afraid that it was going to bend, and I didn't want that to happen. Now it is lowered to the deck, down to the dock, and we went about finding a 2x4 to set under the head of the daggerboard while I disassembled the hydraulics. There, the main halyard comes off of it. You can see Mike brought a 2x4 and now they're placing it under the head. And we take off the other halyard and put it on the deck. It's all very good and very calm. There is the Daggerboard.